Hello light workers, I do hope that you're all well and I hope your little lights are shining beautifully. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. In this session I've got lots of things, different things to talk about, okay, so I'm not going to tell you what they are, you'll just have to see as they come along, okay, so I'll see you on the other side. First thing, yesterday I got a comment from somebody on one of the last videos on the Antichrist or whatever. Somebody who had obviously not seen my videos in a long time and who used to watch them when I was doing kind of the Jehovah's Witness stuff and everything like that. And in his comment he said, I really do miss the down-to-earth videos that you used to do about Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff like that. Now you've become all I used the word woke, which kind of did sting a little bit. Woke and anti this and talking about God and sounds like you're in another cult now and stuff, and I've reflected on that, you know, I've reflected on that comment because it's true that definitely I am not in the same place as I was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and yeah, he said, you know, and now it's all the emissaries and stuff like that, you know, and it's true, it's really true that I wouldn't class myself as woke because I think that's one of those horrible places that people seem to position themselves into where they're not. I mean, they're completely asleep. Woke, definitely not. But I do find that now I'm not embarrassed to talk about God. I'm not embarrassed to talk about the higher spiritual aspect of life. You know, the fear that I used to have about things. And also, I mean, you know, at the time I was angry with God. I was very angry with God. But such a lot's happened. And what I'm aware of is that now, in the place that we are now, I think most people are realizing, and I'm hearing God being brought into a lot of conversations now from people I least expected to come from. And it's because I think we realize that this is serious now. We are in serious waters. You know, I kind of woke up 15 years ago and I've studied it and I've looked in depth. I've looked at everything that was there. But it was always what was coming. That's you know, this is the plan and this is what's coming. And you know, I used to think, yeah, it's coming, but well, everything's still all right at the moment. So, you know, maybe not. Now it's here. Now it is upon us. And I think that makes everybody, you know, in the darkest moments, who do we turn to? You know, when bad stuff happens, who do we turn to? Well, we turn to God. Of course we do. You know, even atheists. I remember watching, I think I've mentioned this, I watched an atheist who was expounding on the fact that God didn't exist and that it was ridiculous and how we're fooling ourselves and everything. And then as he was talking, something fell from behind him and he got a shock and he said, my God. Okay. Why? Because it's all like a primordial thing that we carry inside of us, that when the shit hits the fan, we turn to God. Now that's not particularly a good thing, I don't think, you know, but it does say a lot about where we are. And so the fact that we're in these difficult times, then yes, we're turning to God. But I think that that's a good thing too, when you do it genuinely. And I certainly feel that I do it genuinely. I'm genuinely over the moon with my relationship with God now. I love it, absolutely love it. It's something I realized I was doing some sort of, I was praying the other day, and I was kind of crying when I was doing it, because I was giving thanks for the relationship that I have, and I realized how much I'd missed it in the past, how lonely I was. You know, you can be surrounded by people and be lonely on the inside. And I was lonely, and now I'm not. And so there you are. So I understand the comment from that gentleman. I understand. You know, it's like if you saw me 10 years ago, the videos I was doing, you know, criticising the Bible. Well, I just recently criticised the Bible, I might say. You know, I haven't changed that much. But now to see me like talking about the fact that I'm channeling beings from other places, you know, it must be like, what the dickens? Okay, so let me tell you some other things that have come up. We went to see a gentleman, a biologist, who did a 3.5 hour stint on talking about the whole situation, and lots of it I already knew, obviously, as we all do, and there were lots of things that were new that I really liked and appreciated. We were all inside of the council place. Nobody was wearing a mask. We went in and all of the seats had a bit of paper in between every other seat saying, you know, keep this one spaced, keep this space, you know, so we don't cause everyone COVID illness. And of course we all just took the papers off and sat next to each other. So it was nice. It was like normal, back to normal. When we were standing outside, we knew who was going to go in because the only people who were outside without masks were our people. So we just instantly went over to them. And I was talking to a couple of lovely ladies, and one of them was saying, these people, because you know, everyone around us were wearing masks in the park. We were standing in the park. She said, these people, they're just never going to wake up. Are we ever going to be able to get anything changed when all of these people are asleep? And I said to her, what do you think those people are going to do for you? You know, what do you think that the vast majority of people are going to be able to bring to the table? Because those people are and this isn't a criticism, they are the no-marks of society. They are the great bundle of people that really don't give anything to what's happening. They have nothing to bring to the table. And I was meditating on it afterwards, and I was given this kind of this idea, this visual, which was this. Imagine a pitch black room, a room that's totally dark, and everybody is walking around with a torch that is on its last legs. The batteries are just about to die, and you know what that light's like. It's this yellow, powerless, meaningless light that doesn't project anything. I mean, really all you can do is just see the light. It doesn't illuminate anything. And that's what all of these people, these sleepers, that's the light that they're bringing to the room. Nothing. Just barely, not even really illuminating their own path. And then in walked, this is in my image that I was given, in walked an awakened person, a spiritually awakened person, and the entire room lit up, like putting the light on. And that, in essence, is what we are. And I've heard lots of people talking about the fact that this is why we're scattered all over, because we are illuminating the area in which we live. And I believe that to be true. And I don't think that we need to wait for all of these people to wake up. I don't think it's necessary at all that all of the people wake up. Because we are lighting up the world so much with our energy that we don't need them. They don't bring anything anyway. They have nothing to give. How can I put it? They're empty inside. They're the shells. They are automatons, or whatever they're called. They're just robots walking around that don't give off anything. Soulless, you might say. it isn't that they haven't got a soul, it's that the soul is being suppressed. It's been put inside of a lead lined box, and so they have nothing to give, and so we don't need to wait for them to wake up. We are enough. Look at what happened last Saturday. Look at the crowds. Look at the many thousands, millions of people that took to the streets. Did you see the energy they had when they were outside the BBC shouting, "Shame on you"? Do you feel the energy? That energy is what lights up rooms. And then go out and look at the people walking along the street, the sleepers. Here, all with a mask on. They're not going to light anything up. I mean, they're not going to light anything up. So, we mustn't concern ourselves with them. They are not going to save the world. They never have. They never will. Okay? What we have to concern ourselves with is making sure that our light is as bright as it possibly can be. And there are a few things, and there's something I want to come on to that I mentioned last time. How can we get our light to shine brightly? Well, we must remember the computer expression: garbage in, garbage out. Nothing is more true than what we're experiencing these days. Do not put garbage into your mind. Don't fill your mind up with stuff that is going to diminish your light. It's going to make your light dwindle and wane. Don't. You know the score. You know what the situation is. You know that, we're in shit at bus time. Start listening to people who are going to uplift you. Start finding information that's going to uplift you, that's going to make your light brighter. Okay, this is ever so important, because we are the ones. We are not here to do. We are not here to bring about change through physical action. I don't believe that. And that's the message that we're not here to wake people up. We're not here. We are here to bring our light to the world. Because in the act of many of us bringing light to the world, we change the world. We are here to bring our expectation of something wonderful to the world, because in that act of expecting, we change the world. That's what we are here to do. So it isn't, don't get tied up on, I've got to do something, I've got to do something. Yes, we do. And it's work on ourselves. Which brings me to the next point. Last time I was telling you that the emissary said the word introspection about 50 times when I was meditating. And I said to them, I said to on the video, meditation or whatever, going inside and finding your salvation inside. Okay. Whilst I was out running, because often they give me inspiration when I'm out running, they clarified what they meant, because obviously just saying introspection 50 times didn't help me a lot. They clarified what they meant. And what they said was that our job is to fix ourselves. Our job now, our number one priority, is to get ourselves fantastically well. To fix ourselves. And what they were referring to was, if you are depressed, if you are anxious, if you are suffering, if you are in a terrible life, if something's happening, you need to fix yourselves. Why? Because when you do that, your light will shine. When you're in a great place, your light will shine. Let me tell you, when this all started, just before it started, I was drawn to change my diet and make sure that I was eating the best possible diet that I could eat. Okay? And I had to give up so many things. But that made me stronger. I've had a gym downstairs for 5 years, never used it. Now I use it 4 times a week. I was drawn, and I started running. I was drawn to do things to make myself better. Okay? That isn't by mistake. I don't believe that was by mistake. That was because I knew that I needed, on a soul level, I knew that I needed to be at the very best, the top of my game for what I was going to have to go through. I need to be strong for my family. I need my family to look at me and look and say, he's fine, so everything must be all right. Yeah? And that's what we need to do. We need to be at the top of our game. That means we need to get the shit sorted out on the inside. If you feel shitty on the inside, you're not going to shine much light. Get it sorted. Find a way. The world is filled now with therapists who know that their time has come, who know that they now are going to be in demand and that they're going to have to step up to the plate and help. Okay? So I've never been more busy in my therapies now. Now I'm at maximum. I'm maxed out with my therapies. I can't take more therapies. I'm fitting them in weird places. Why? Because people know they need to get the game sorted. And they're coming for lots of different reasons, but it's all about help me to get myself right on the inside, so then I can move forward. I can go along my spiritual path. I can be a better father. I can be a better mother. I can be a better person. It doesn't matter. There's no reason now to stay in status quo if that status quo is shitty. Okay, so that's what they said to me. That's the job that we need to do. We need to put ourselves into a great place, and we need to shine our light. That's all we need to do. Shine our light. Give off this energy. Switch on the light. Brighten the entire room up instead of these people wandering around with a shitty torch that's just about to die on them. Okay? There we are. And then the last point. The last point is this. And it was something that came from my other business. Somebody said to me, you've just done a lesson, because we teach Spanish, you've just done a lesson in which you didn't use any images at all. And therefore the lesson has very little value because people need to see something. Right? And I was thinking about that, and this is not the first time that this has come up. When I was a teacher, there's this horrible body called Ofsted which comes around and every year imposes the government new legislation on teaching, which effectively takes away all the joy of teaching from teachers and just gives them more and more and more paperwork and more hoops to jump through, and etc. Exactly the same thing that has happened to doctors and nurses, where all of the joy has been taken out of their job, and all they're left with is paperwork, norms, rules, and generally that aren't for the benefit of their patients. Yeah, and it's the same. The Ofsted is not there for the benefit of the students, even though that's what they say. They're there to impose government agendas. That's it. Yeah, so that people get taught what it is that they're supposed to think. Yeah. So I was observed by somebody from Ofsted, and I did what I considered to be the best lesson of my life. I'd prepared it well. We were on the internet. We worked as a group. We were laughing. We had fun. People were interacting. People were talking in Spanish. And then at the end, we read a story and everybody read something out. Yeah. And at the end, the guy came up to me and he said, okay, so I have to tell you that you have only scored a 3. Right? A 3 is shit. Right? 1 is fantastic. You're the dog's doings. You follow the entire government agenda and everybody knows what they have to think. Number 2 is okay, but you could have done better. Yeah, you need to read the government rules a bit better. And 3 is shit. We're coming back, and if you don't fix it, you're going to be in trouble. So he said a 3, and I said, but why? That was a great lesson. And he said, because when you finished your lesson, you read from a book and there were no pictures in the book. That's what he said. And so for that reason, I'm going to have to drop you to a 3. Just because of that. Forget the rest of the lesson. Forget that people learned lots of stuff. There were no pictures in the book, and therefore you failed. Right? And this is what somebody said to me. you didn't use any pictures. And this is what I'm aware of when, and I've been guilty of it myself. If you look at the way that the world is now, we're in the Minute Maid world. The Minute Maid world. And what I mean by that, there used to be a thing called the Minute Maid. Was it a drink or something? And what it is this. If you watch a video, in fact, if I look at my stats on YouTube, on my other channel, right? The average watch time of any video, the average watch time is around about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, even though the videos are 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, the average watch time is 3 to 4 minutes. If you watch any video that is there, which is a modern, highly produced, what happens is this. You get the person saying, in this world, many people are sad. Okay? So, the person says many people are sad, and then what happens is they'll put a little video, which comes from, you know, the many libraries of videos that are out there, of somebody who's sad. Like a man who'll be sitting there going, I mean, really bad acting as well, I've got to say, really bad acting. All right? And they say, however, there are times when we can be happy. And then they'll put another video of somebody going, jumping up in the air, or, yeah. And I've often wondered about this, and I thought to myself, I am extremely capable of understanding the concept of sad and happy. I know what that means. I do not need to have an image of that represented to me so that I might know what sad and happy is. And why did they do it? Well, I believe that, and I'm not saying that imagery is not good for learning. Imagery is great for learning. I love it. But what I'm saying is that it's the dumbing down of society. Society is being dumbed down. And boy, have we seen that. Have we seen the proof of that over the last 15 months or whatever? The dumbing down of mankind. If you look in every aspect of our lives, we are being dumbed down. The attempt is to dumb us down. Every pair of child's shoes now don't have laces. It's very rare that you see some children's shoes with laces. Why is that? Why do children not need to fasten their laces anymore? Because we use Velcro now. Because we use, even you'll have shoes that have laces in them, but they're not tieable, they're all done up. It's like elastic. Okay? My car now has no handbrake. I keep going to put the handbrake on and there's no handbrake on it. It does it automatically. If I stop on a bank and the handbrake comes on automatically. I don't want that. I want to put my handbrake on. Because what happens if I get into a car that does have a handbrake and then I don't know what to do? So what we're seeing in our society today is this gradual reduction of skill. We're reducing our skill. We all have calculators. I mean, calculators came out a long time ago. You don't need to do anything in your head anymore. Lots of people aren't able to calculate in the head anymore. We have spell check, so you don't need to write properly anymore because the spell check puts it right for you. So we've got a situation in which we watch a video, and as people are talking, they are showing us what we have to imagine inside of our heads. Okay? So we're not allowed to be creative anymore. Creativity's been dumbed down. We don't need to be creative anymore. Videos are so overly produced that you don't even have to think. It's called passive learning. Passive. And we're becoming, and I'm saying I'm not, absolutely not, and I don't believe you are either, but I want you to be aware of it. that the mankind is little by little being taken into a passive state of dumbness, where they have no skills whatsoever. No skills. None. You know, don't know how to plant a seed, don't know how to make something grow, don't know how to make something, don't know how to fix anything. Just buy a new one. And this is where they want to have us. Why? But why? Because if we have no skill and we are completely reliant on the experts, then we are totally in their control. When we don't know how to take care of ourselves, and we see it in the medical world, we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We need an expert to tell us. And that's the wrong place to go. We need, if we want to be in our sovereignty, if we want to be sovereign beings, then we need to start taking responsibility for every part of our lives. When somebody says, imagine, and he was depressed, but he had hope. He was depressed, but he had hope. Okay? You try and find an image to represent that on your video. You try and find somebody who's depressed with a bit of hope. Yeah? You can't. So what do? What do? Well, what you do is you just put a depressed one. Yeah? You just put a video of somebody depressed. And so even the representation is wrong. Yeah, it's too broad. But say to me, you know, the best storytellers never, ever have had to use imagery. The best storytellers make you create the image inside of your head. They make you form the shapes and the colors and everything with the words. That's what creation is. That's what being creative is. And so when I say to you, well, there was a person and he was depressed, but you know, there was just a spark of hope that kept coming to his mind. You can get that. You know what that looks like. You know what that sounds like, and you know what that feels like. You don't need me then to put a picture of somebody who's depressed and then maybe a spark and then somebody who looks like they've got a bit of hope. But they could have anything. I mean, they could have wind. They don't necessarily have to have hope. You know, babies have wind when they're smiling like that. So please be aware. I want you to be conscious of it. Be conscious of when they are trying to dumb you down, and reject it and go and do something creative. Make sure you keep your skills up. Keep your skill set hot to trot and keep adding skills. This is our job. This is what I was told a long time ago. Start creating. Add to your skills. Keep making yourself into a better person. That makes your light shine brighter. That makes you change the world. Okay? I've talked enough. I'll see you on Friday. Have a lovely week.